Hi everybody, Cynthia here. I'm going to share with you a tag that I made. I was completely inspired by a tag in this Creating Keepsakes book. A lot of times I do refer to books, magazines, YouTube, Pinterest. I look all over the place for inspiration because there's some days where you want to sit and make something and you're like, ugh, you know, where do I start? So I saw a tag in this book and I thought, how perfect would that be to send them an anniversary tag instead of, you know, an ordinary card. So I'm going to show you where I got my inspiration first and what it looked like. This is the picture right here of the tag. And it says the perfect pair, and I thought that's what caught my eye because I thought what a nice sentiment to somebody for their anniversary. The cards that were used here are actually transfers, and they used the transfer paper to get the images onto the canvas ribbon. I don't have transfer paper in my stash, and I wasn't about to go out and buy any. I'm trying to use what I have. But I did have playing cards. So this is where I got my inspiration. Let me show you my tag. And also I came up with dimensions for an envelope for it because I want to send it in the mail. So if you'd like to learn, see a quick tutorial on the envelope, stay tuned to the end of the video. Anyway, this is the tag that I made. It measures 3.5 inches wide by 5 inches high. I used plain black cardstock, and I'm going to use my white gel pen to write on the back. I just used ribbon and laces and rickrack that I had in my bag of. I have like a big bag that I keep under my desk, and it's just filled with like little ribbon scraps. So I decided to, you know, dive into those and use some of those. But anyway, I did use this canvas ribbon that I picked up from Hobby Lobby a little while ago, and I covered the entire piece of cardstock with it, and then I used I think it was Versamagic. Let me pull this out. Yeah, my Versamagic red brick chalk ink, and I inked it up on the bottom. You can see here. A little bit on the canvas here and there, and then I used some burlap trim and just glued it on there. Kind of followed the same layout that they had. My difference was I added a domino. I didn't add the brads. I didn't have the same things they had. I did not have the rub-on transfers for the letters, so I just used my little like tiny type alphas from a sticker sheet. The domino here is actually one of these dollar store dominoes. I just flipped it over and used my alcohol marker and drew 2 pairs of 2s on it. I used my Bic Tuxedo Black marker. But anyway, the cards, they were nice and shiny and bright and new like this. So I just used my sanding block. And I just buffed it out until I got the look I wanted, and then I used Vintage Photo to ink it up. And I also did a little bit of inking on the domino so it didn't look so nice and bright and white. And then down here, I didn't have any metal, but I love that look of the tags. So I used my aluminum tape and just peeled the back off, stuck it to a piece of cardstock, and punched out with my 1/2 inch circle punch 4 holes. This is a piece of cardstock. You got to smooth it out once you put your aluminum tape on so it's not real wrinkly. And then I just punched my 4 holes out, glued them onto the tag, and then adhered my alphas over it and just glued on a key. But I thought it was so cool to put a king and queen card and then write the perfect pair. I just thought that was really neat. So I think it'll be kind of different to send as an anniversary card, but this is the envelope that I made for it. It's out of heavy cardstock. If you're going to send these in the mail, normally when I make envelopes, I use computer paper. It's just more economical for me. But this one is a heavy piece of cardstock because I don't want this thing to get shredded in the mail. But it's a really nice size. It's not too big for the tag, so you're not wasting space. But it's also big enough if you want to make your tag more dimensional. So, like I said, this envelope is designed for a 3.5 inch wide by 5 inch tag. Okay? And you want to start off with 9 by 8.5 inch piece of cardstock. Line your cardstock up to the 9 inches. You're going to score it at 2.5. Flip it around to the other side and score it at 2.5 again. So it should look something like that. Now you're going to line it up to the 8.5 inch mark, and you're going to score it at 1.5, and then flip it and score it at the 1 inch mark. And then I'm just going to fold up all my score lines. Put this aside, and then I'm just going to cut off my corners. A lot of you have already seen me do envelopes this style before, but if you haven't, then just keep watching. I'm going to cut off all of these 4 corners, just following my lines. I was thinking of doing like a Tag It Tuesday or Inspirational Tag Time Tuesday series where I just make tags on video. But I wasn't sure if anybody was going to be interested in that, so I haven't done it yet, but maybe if there's enough people interested, I will do the series. So if you'd like to see that kind of a series, just leave a comment below. I'm going to round, okay, your envelope should look like this, okay? And the 1/2 inch point down here, I'm just going to round the corners. This is the bottom flap that you flip up. I'm also going to round the corners on the top of the envelope. Let me just trim this. I didn't trim this straight here. I just noticed that. Okay. So one of your flaps is going to overlap the other. So you want to add a little bit of adhesive on this side. I'm going to put 2 strips down. I have 1/4 inch tape, 1/4 inch wide tape in my ATG gun. So I added 2 strips. Flip it over. I think I'm going to use my bone folder and make sure that's really good and press down. And then your bottom flap, which is the 1 inch wide piece, you want to add more adhesive to that. And flip it up. Okay. So there's your envelope. I just use my 1 inch circle punch. You kind of pop this open and line it up in the center. And I only go in halfway and punch that out. That gives you this little opening here, which makes it easier for somebody to, you know, go in and pull out the tag. Okay, so that's it, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you would like to see a tag time series or something like that, let me know that as well. And I will be glad to do it for you. Thank you guys for watching. Take care and have a wonderful day.